Did you guys see what happened in Cuba? Right now, one of the major companies that supplies Cuba their energy, their power, has gone down, causing 10 million people and residents of Cuba to be without power for the second day straight. This right here is something to really pay attention to, because when things like this happen, it could cause total chaos. Meaning, every man for themselves type situations, meaning they'll do anything to make sure their family is okay. Right now in Cuba, they are looting. They are doing whatever they can to keep food in their houses and get clean water. Interesting situation, because if you're paying attention, this can happen in any country at any time. But the difference between it happening in Cuba and happening in America is, if that were to happen in America, being the country with the most pew-pews, what do you think people will do when they're desperate? That will be a different type of total chaos, won't it? How would a no power event play out in America? Do you feel like your neighbors will help you? Do you feel like your neighbors will support you in that event? Or do you feel like it will be every man for themselves, as in 2024, no one even knows their neighbors? No one even has empathy or compassion for others. It's every man for themselves right now. So imagine what a no power event in America would do to the people. I think it would be scary. I think it will be total chaos. And I think it will be some individuals who lack the empathy for humans, and they will do some very, very nefarious things to survive. Right now, it is a time for you, if you are in America, to at least know who's next to you. Talk to your neighbor on the left-hand side. Talk to your neighbor on the right-hand side and the ones across the street. If you, in your just circle around you, you guys know each other, then you'll be okay. You don't have to know the whole block. Just know who's in your vicinity. Think about it. When you see your neighbor come home from work, say hello. Invite them over for dinner. Get all of you guys together so that if something were to happen, you guys have each other's backs. But do not get caught off guard and be in a situation where you need help and you do not know your neighbors. I'm out.
Shalom, shalom. Call halayim la, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, Kakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, the great millstone, and teach them well. Peace and salutations be to the full elect. But that tells one from the truth from the prophets in Babylon camp here in Tampa, Florida. Okay, this lesson is going to be going into the Cuba crisis. Basically, one of the power plants was damaged. The plant that put light output into the state or the island or whatever, has been damaged. So they've been experiencing an extended blackout right now. All right, since last week, they've been going through a blackout a few days now, and my woman, she got family over there, Cuba, and they live close to the hospital. So what happens is the hospital have generators. They turn on the lights, the power for the hospital, which is odd to me as well. But they turn on the lights for the hospital so that the hospital can charge up the generators, and then they turn them back off. So because my woman's family lives near the hospital, they get power for a few hours a day while the hospital's charging the generators, and then they turn it back off and they run off of the generators. But everybody else in Cuba is without lights. They're still without lights. So your ass in the house. Slovakia. So they're all still without lights. And basically, come on. Go. Basically, they just been going through that for a week, about a week now. You know. That being said, who knows what the real motive behind that was or how it was damaged. Basically, something exploded in the plant and they've been out of power, you know. But these people some people have already started looting, you know, and doing what they have to do to protect and feed their families, you know. We experienced a blackout here in my house, my neighborhood, in my area for like 3 or 4 days. It was like 3 or 4 days after Hurricane Milton. And what I noticed was everybody, at least Northern Kingdom, for what I know for Northern Kingdom, I'm not much too sure about Southern Kingdom, but, you know, I live on the Northern Kingdom side, and what I've noticed is they band together and they use generators, you know, they help each other out. But after a while, when, you know, the gas runs out of the gas station, there's no gas to power the generators. There's no people start getting more reserved to themselves to reserve their resources for their family, and then when that runs out, all hell breaks loose. Okay, I give it about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks, before people really start turning on each other, you know. This world is, especially in America, because America is so dependent on electricity, Wi-Fi, and internet connection, and, you know, they don't really know how to live based off survival skills. Okay, but you already had people stealing over there in Cuba and looting for food, supposedly, as the guy exclaims in the video. You know, they'll be coming to a time where they're gonna cut the lights off here in America. It's going to be just like Cuba. It's going to be a lot worse because people in Cuba, they're not allowed to carry guns. They don't allow guns over there in Cuba for their citizens, but they do here in America. So how much worse is it going to be here in America when that extended blackout hits over here, you know? Let me grab this. It says it in the scriptures. You don't gotta take my word for it or this guy in the video's word for it. It says it in the scriptures. All right. So it says here in the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16, and verse. Matter of fact, I don't think that's the one. So this is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, and verse. Start at verse 17. It says, "A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able." So these cities are going to be cut off by military, soldiers or National Guard troops. They're going to siege cities, basically. You know, and these cities are going to be militant checkpoints, military checkpoints, and they're gonna be how do you call it? What's the word for it? Militant state, something like that. Hostile state, I don't know. But basically, it's when the soldiers have taken over a city and they're walking the streets, and you got curfew. You know, it's gonna be martial law going on. There's a lot of these things gonna be going on. People are gonna be without lights and water. People gonna be there supplying food rations. Okay, everything's gonna be well controlled, or the government's gonna seek to control everything, and that's when the CHIPs are gonna start getting enrolled. You want to continue getting this supply of food at this amount of time? Take this CHIP. You know, if you don't want it, you know, and people gonna be holding. You're gonna have, I saw it in a night vision once. You know, there was people that the troops were raiding the houses, and they were kicking down doors looking for people who didn't take the CHIP, because you saw that there were people hiding in other people's houses and surviving off of them because they had the CHIP. So the people that were surviving off their family that had the CHIP and they didn't get it, you know, the troops kicked in the door and they were testing them to see if they had it, trying to scan their hand and their forehead to see if they had it. And if nothing popped up, they took them and put them in the van in the military truck and drove off with them, you know, and nobody knows what went down with them after that. You know, that was as far as I saw. And it was in the dream, it was like I was in a spirit body watching these things happen. You know, I wasn't there in the flesh watching it happen. I was in the spirit body in somebody else's house watching it take place. You know, well, that's what's getting ready to take place here. You know, very soon now, we're about to experience these things. All right. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, and it says the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Okay, so it's going to be a very hostile environment. Men are going to be afraid. Houses going to be destroyed. Lights going to be off. Water ain't going to be running. Everything you're going to have to get or eat to eat and take care of yourself is going to be supplied by you through the government. So that's when people really going to look for those benefits. People going to really look to the government for help, you know. And what happens when the government ain't helping? That people going to try to seek to overthrow the government, you know. Things are going to get really wild. People are going to be starving to death. And they're going to eventually take matters into their own hands, as the scriptures say. You know, they're going to do whatever they had the power to do. Okay. It says, verse 19, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy the houses with the sword and spoil their goods. Spoil means to take, you know, to rob, to steal, or to take violently. Spoil. Okay. Israel was spoiled. They were taken violently. Okay. And it says, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Okay, so because of the lack of bread, lack of food and water, and for that great tribulation, it's going to be a lot of trouble going on. Okay, this devil's going to be coming down with very grievous laws, unrighteous decrees, okay, curfews. All right, so these people are going to try to get it in blood, man, get it back in blood. And these people got guns here in America. So a blackout here is going to be a lot more violent than a blackout in Cuba. Okay. And who knows how long that's going to continue for. I want to grab this. Sedition. This is the type of times we're coming into. In the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15 and verse 16. Matter of fact, we'll start at verse 14, which is a few verses before. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. So everybody gonna take weapons to themselves to attack another person, to defend their family and feed their house. All right, it's gonna be a bloodbath here in this world, man. Every neighborhood is gonna be a battle royale. Every city is gonna be a fight for survival. Okay, once the neighborhood is overcome, people gonna start checking each other's houses, checking out all the houses to see if it's empty, see if there's somebody living in there. People gonna set up traps in houses, you know, spring traps, door traps, gun traps are gonna be set up in these houses, man. You know, we're about to see a lot of things, and I saw it in many visions of people just setting traps up in their houses during those days. And you walk into a house, you know, in one vision I walked into a house and it was a spring trap door, and it was rusty nails on the other side of it. And when I opened the door, I guess the door snapped back, and there was nails behind it. It was weird how it worked, but there was nails behind it, but it forced me into the nails and the rusty nails. And though I got hit by it, I didn't get pierced, like the Lord protected me. I didn't get pierced by it. I wasn't bleeding or anything. And it was like I was invincible to the trap, and I walked right through it. And the Lord gonna protect his men, Lord willing. We be those men. We stay under the hedge of protection. You're gonna see the hedge of protection really work in action. For there shall be sedition among men. So let's grab the definition of the word sedition to see what we're really going to be dealing with in those days. And it says, sedition. Let's grab it in the. Let's see if we can grab it in the blue letter. Slack it, bear with me. Lexicon. Strong's G. Says sedition, in a bad sense, rebellion. Okay, so we found another definition for it. And that was estador. This one is dicostasia, and in the Greek. And for this one, it says dicostasia says disunion, dissension, division for sedition. Okay. This one's in the Greek says stasis. So sedition for this one means, in the Strong's, by implication, a popular uprising, figuratively, controversy, dissension, insurrection, standing, uproar. Okay, so an uproar, really. A standing position. Okay, the people taking a stand. Okay, it's like an uproar. They're going to be they're going to be overthrowing their government, pretty much. People going to band together to overthrow their government. And it's going to be very, even in the scripture it says, confusion going to be in many places. It's going to be people against each other, and then people banding together with each other to go against the government. And then people against each other, and it's going to get worse and worse until it's like this place needs to be put out of its misery, man. You see that you can see this place need to be put out of its misery. Okay, it says, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their action shall stand in their power. Okay, there you have it. The course of their action will stand in their power. What they have the power to do, they're gonna do it. Cuba, they don't got guns, so they don't shoot each other. They got maybe machetes or knives or something. Who knows? Okay, but the crime rate is not as high as it is here because they don't have guns. You know, here in America, guns are everywhere. All your neighbors got guns. You know, and it's legal. It's allowed. Okay, so they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their action shall stand in their power. So the kings and the princes are gonna be for a prey. Okay, they the ones that get all the food, really. Everybody finna look for them and find them and raid their shit. You know, and after that, they're gonna stick to the people that's nearby, their neighbors. They're gonna spoil their neighbors. Okay, after they overthrow the government and there's no more they can get from them, they're gonna start taking it from each other. The person that they were just banding together with, they're gonna steal from and kill and eat. You know, till there's nothing left. These people gonna devour each other. Okay, you ain't seen nothing yet. You thought the Sage of Jerusalem was something. Wait until America gets really bad. You know, for the Lord gonna send those swords upon it. Okay, those plagues. I had one. I forgot what it was. It just slipped my mind. Lord willing, it comes back to me, but we'll grab this in the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2 and verse 3. Habakkuk chapter 2 and 3 says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. So that vision is coming, man. You know, it may take some time, but wait for it, because it's gonna come. It's guaranteed to come. It's not gonna miss its appointed time. There's an appointment for this world that the Lord has set for tribulation, and it's not gonna be late. Okay, so that's why we gotta be on our P's and Q's, man. Stay prayed up, stay faithful, stay good to your brothers and those that love the Lord, and do right, man. You know, and the Lord gonna do right with you in those days. You're gonna be good. You're gonna be taken care of. You're gonna have nothing to worry about from everything. You're gonna be delivered. You're gonna have invincibility perks in those days. You know, Scripture says, "And those evils be even as pilgrims among the earth." So it's gonna get to a time where you're gonna be like a pilgrim, just traveling to and fro, looking for a place to lay your head for the night, and then leaving. Okay, and food's gonna come your way. Food's gonna go. All right, but the Lord's gonna be with you at all times. Lord willing, we be those men. So with that, I truly hope this lesson was edifying to your argument on YAHAWAH, to the truth and sincerity. So next time I give all glory, honor, and praises unto YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHWASHI, BAHASHAM, Shalom.